know, the Emergence Conference 2020. It's so good to be here. Shout out to the organizers of the conference. It's absolutely amazing that we're talking about Illuminate this year, and I have 20 minutes to illuminate the topic identifying and connecting with your target audience. My name is Freda Raymond-Obi from Show Me What to Do. So without much further ado, I'm going to start from the back and talk about target audience. Let me illuminate target audience to you. And I'm going to start with a story. I call it the tale of two women. And the first woman is myself. So back in about 2013, I made a decision to stop wearing high-heeled shoes. That means that if you're selling shoes and you bring high-heeled shoes to me, doesn't matter who you are. You may be my mother, you may be my pastor, you may be my sister. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm not buying. Why? Because personally, I have said, that's it, no more for me. I love high-heeled shoes. I love to see them on other women, but it's just not for me anymore. Now, let's talk about my daughter's primary school teacher, whose name is Mrs. White. Mrs. White will not wear any other shoes other than high-heeled shoes. 6 inches, and I admire them on her, and she's very comfortable with them, but she doesn't wear low shoes. So if you took low shoes to Mrs. White, she wouldn't wear them. She wouldn't buy them. Why have I told you this tale of two women? It's for you to know that different people have different needs, have different wants, and you have to meet them at the point of their needs. Your target audience is one person in multiples. So if you were selling high-heeled shoes, for instance, your target audience would be me multiple times. And I'm sure that you'll agree with me that you will find millions of women who have decided that it's just flat shoes they're going to be wearing. You can also find millions of women who want to wear high-heeled shoes. So when you target your marketing messages at them, you know exactly what to say to them. You are taking the right products to them. So since I've talked about target audience now, like I said, I'm working backwards with the topic. How do you connect with them? You connect with them by speaking their language. You speak to them in a way that they will connect with emotionally. It's emotions that fuels connection. And if you are able to draw out emotions in them, trust me, you will sell every single time. And I'm going to talk to you about how you can do that. But of course, before you can connect with them, you have to find them. I'll talk to you as well about how you can do that. And then identify. How do you identify them? How do you know what they need? How do you know what they want? How do you know that you can supply what they need and what they want? That means you have to give them an identity. So I'm going to talk to you about the 4 mindset pillars that you need to have that will help you to do just that. And the first one is the pillar of being the success plug. You want to be the success plug. And what does that mean? It means finding out what the goals and the values of your ideal client are. Everybody has goals. You have goals. I have goals. The thing with people is that we're inherently selfish, and whenever somebody is talking to us, what's going on at the back of our minds is, what's in it for me? What am I going to get out of this? So you need to be able to speak to your target person so that they understand what's in it for them. You start from the foundation of understanding exactly what it is that you're delivering to them. Let's take Coca-Cola, for instance. Coca-Cola is not going to come to you and say, please buy this bottle of drink, this black drink that is full of sugar. They never say that to you. Instead, they show you pictures that show that when you take Coca-Cola, you are happy. There's connection, there's relationship. That is speaking to your emotions. Be the success plug. So if you're somebody who wants happiness, who wants relationship, who wants to thrive in relationships, you will share a Coke. They even had an advert that said, share a Coke. Let me tell you the biggest mindset about business. Business is about win-win. Your customer wins when they get their deepest needs met. And you win because they're happy about their needs being met. They will joyfully pay you the money that you ask for. Win-win. Are you getting blessed yet? The second pillar is you want to become a super analyst. Now, what do I mean by that? You want to dig deep into your ideal customer. You have to find out what their demographics are and and their psychographics, which I like to call sources of information. So let's start with demographics. Things like their age. You will agree with me that the way you speak to a teenager is not the same way that you will speak to an 80-year-old person. Things like their marital status. Sometimes what you have to offer is for married people, and sometimes it's for single people. Sometimes it's for the divorced, and sometimes it's for widows. So, understanding the demography of your ideal customer is really key, because it is what will help you speak to them in the way that they will understand. And then understanding their psychographics, or their sources of information, like I like to call it. Where are they hanging out, offline and online? Many times where you will find a teenager or a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old is not where you will find an 80-year-old. I mean, if what you have to offer is for elderly people, 80, 90s, you're not going to be looking for them on Facebook or on Instagram or on Twitter, for instance. You might find them in places like associations. You might find them through hospitals. You might find them through, say, even in churches. For instance, they're very good places to find people of that age. And then you know where the teenagers hang out. You know where the 20s hang out. If you're looking for professional people, you know where you can find them. What sources of information? Where do they get their information from? Where do they get, if they want to buy, what kind of search do they carry out? Do they ask other people? Do they go online? Those are the things that you will look at for you to be able to know where you can find these ideal customers of yours. The third mindset pillar you want to have is that you are the empathetic solution provider. So let me explain it this way. Empathy is like putting yourself in their shoes. And when you put yourself in their shoes, you ask yourself, what challenges are they having? What are the pain points that they are having? There's a difference between challenges and pain points. Challenges are those things that they want to do, but they find it difficult to do, probably because they don't have the skill, or they don't have the wherewithal, or they don't even have the time sometimes. So it's just a challenge. Let me give you a good example is people who, online coaches, a lot of them struggle with automating what they put online because they don't have the skills. But if you are somebody that the automations are very easy for you, it will be easy for you to offer it to them. So you will put yourself in their shoes and talk about the frustrations that they face when they are trying to do that, and then show them how you can save them that frustration and take that frustration away from them. Pain points, on the other hand, are those things that are keeping them awake at night. Those things that, they are worried about. Those things that give them a headache, for instance. So sometimes things you hear people complain and say things like, oh, my staff, they drive me crazy, because you tell them to do one thing and they go ahead and do a different thing. If you are somebody that teaches people how to train their staff and how to put systems into their business, you'll be able to speak the language that this person understands and be able to proffer a solution. And the way I do this is I talk about what we call empathy maps. So you talk about when they're having these challenges and when they're having these pain points. What are they feeling? What are they thinking? What are they doing? What are they saying? If you can capture these things, and sometimes they would say these things to you. So if you can capture them, and then you also talk about what they will say, what they will do, what they will feel when their goals are met, or when these problems, the pain points or the challenges are solved, then you can chart a journey for them from their before states, showing them how you will get them to their after states. And that's where you draw out the emotion, and that's where you connect with them. And the final mindset pillar I want to talk about is about being a strategic seller. Let me give you two simple definitions of marketing and selling. Marketing is you changing somebody's mindset or belief about something, getting them to a point where they believe that this product or this service is going to solve this particular problem that I have. Selling is about getting them to take action, to pay the money to get that solution, and there's strategy to it. One of the things, or one of the reasons why people will not buy is because they have certain objections, they are not clear. So if you can write down every objection that you believe that people will have to buying from you and put the answers to them down, you are well on your way there, because it means you are prepared. The minute they give you that objection, you can talk about it. Sometimes the objection is, your price is too expensive, this price is too high. Telling them that, oh, I bought it at $200, so I can't sell it at $100, does not take away that objection. Instead, you want to show them the value of what they are getting for $200, and you have to be able to speak in a way where they will even be able to sometimes tell you, I think you are even selling it too cheap for this price. Now, another thing you need to understand is that there are different roles that people have in the buying process. So your product or your service might be for a 2-year-old, but that 2-year-old is not the one who's going to pay you the money. So there's a decision maker, there's a buyer, there's an end user. You need to ask yourself, who am I targeting right now? For a 2-year-old, you are not targeting the 2-year-old. You are targeting the buyer, maybe the mother, maybe the father. You need to be able to speak in a language that they understand, to show them that this thing that you're giving them will solve whatever problem it is, whatever challenge it is that they are having with their 2-year-old. Let me use, for example, the buyer role we call influencer. And let me use the brand McDonald's. McDonald's sells Happy Meals to children. They know that children are big influencers of their parents' purchases. So the parents are the buyers and the decision makers, because if the parent says, I'm not buying, that's the end. But they know that children throw tantrums. So they put toys in their Happy Meals. And you know what those toys do? For example, when the whole of the Avengers saga was going on, you would find maybe a toy, Captain America toy, and then you might find Scarlet Witch, and then you might find Thor, and then what will happen is children will go to school and will say, I got a Happy Meal this weekend and I got Thor. And another one would say, oh, I got Iron Man. And another one will say, and like that. And then you will find children who want to collect the whole set. So you are not safe as a parent if you are driving past a McDonald's. I'm speaking from experience, because I want McDonald's, I want McDonald's, I want McDonald's. There's no peace until you buy that McDonald's. That is the power of an influencer. And McDonald's, they know how to work it good. So if you can understand the buyer roles and you can channel your marketing to get the people that matter, you will make sales. Obviously, today, I've just illuminated in 20 minutes how you can identify and connect with your target audience. There's much more to this, but I promise you that if you go over everything I've told you today and you just take a piece of paper and you take action on it, you will have much more clarity on who it is that you serve and how you can serve them and how to connect with them and get them to buy from you. But if you need more, you can follow me, follow Esther's preparation room, follow the Illuminate conference. There's a lot in here that will help you to take your business to the highest heights that it can get to. Once again, I'm Freda Raymond-Obi of Show Me What to Do, and it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. God bless you.